It was the second Saturday of June, the kind of warm morning when the grocery store doors slide open and the cold air hits your face before you even see the produce section. You had already promised your family something sweet for later. Maybe breakfast was rushed. Maybe the week had been long. Maybe the children had been asking for fruit all morning, and you thought, today I am going to bring home something healthy, bright, and beautiful. So you walked toward the produce bins, past the apples polished like glass, past the bananas stacked in yellow rows, and there it was, a pile of papayas sitting under the store lights. Some were green, some were yellow, some looked golden enough to trust. One of them had that perfect tropical color, like sunshine had somehow soaked into the skin. You picked it up, it felt heavy enough. It looked decent enough, and maybe that was the mistake. Because most people choose papaya the same way they choose a candle, or a shirt, or a pretty picture. They choose the one that looks nice from a distance. You paid $4.79 for it. Not a fortune, no, but enough that when fruit goes bad, it feels personal. Enough that when you cut into it later, you remember the price. That evening, after the house had quieted down a little, you put the papaya on the cutting board. The knife went through the skin, and for 1 second, you expected that deep orange flesh. Soft, sweet, almost glowing. The kind of fruit that makes children come closer to the counter before you even call them. But instead, the knife dragged through something pale and stubborn. The inside was dull, yellow in the wrong way. The flesh was hard near the edges, watery in the center, and the smell was not sweet. It had that flat, green smell that tells you the fruit was picked too early and never truly finished becoming itself. You cut a slice anyway because you did not want to waste it. Your wife took one bite and tried to be kind. One of the children made that face children make when they want to spit something out but know they are being watched. Someone said, maybe it needs more time. But you knew. It was not going to become good, not tomorrow, not after sitting on the counter, not after being wrapped in a paper bag. That papaya had already told you the truth, you just did not know how to hear it when you were standing in the store, and that is the small shame of bad fruit. It is not just the money, it is the disappointment. It is the way everybody saw you bring home something that looked promising, and then watched it fail right there on the cutting board. You thought you were choosing fruit, but really, you were guessing. And guessing is exactly why so many families keep wasting money on papayas that look ripe under grocery store lights but taste like wet cardboard when the knife finally opens them. Now I want you to sit with this. There is no luck in picking a ripe papaya. A good papaya is not hiding its truth from you. It is telling you everything before you buy it. The color tells you how far the sun and time have carried it. The skin tells you whether it ripened gently or was bruised into softness. The weight tells you whether it is full of juice or hollow disappointment. The smell tells you whether sugar has arrived. And the stem end tells you whether the fruit is alive with ripeness or only painted to look that way. Most people do not pick bad papayas because they are careless. They pick bad papayas because nobody ever taught them that fruit has a language. Every farmer's wife once knew this. Long before produce stickers, cold storage rooms, and fruit stacked under white grocery lights, women could stand at a roadside stand, pick up a melon, a peach, a papaya, or a tomato, and know more in 10 seconds than most shoppers know after 20 minutes of squeezing everything in the bin. My wife, Esther, learned that from her mother, and Esther's mother learned it from her mother before her. Here in Lancaster County, knowledge did not always come from books. Much of it came from hands. From carrying baskets, from sorting fruit on wooden tables. From watching what ripened properly and what never did. From seeing which fruits the children reached for first, and which ones the pigs ended up eating because nobody at the table wanted a second bite. Esther can still pick up a piece of fruit, turn it once in her hand, and say, not that one, and when she says it, she is usually right. Not because she is guessing better than you, because she was taught what to notice. I am Elias Yoder, I am Amish, and I farm in Lancaster County. And today, I am going to show you how to pick a ripe papaya using 5 simple signs you can check in about 90 seconds. By the end of this video, you will know how to look at the color, feel the weight, press the skin, smell the stem end, and check the shape and blemishes before you ever put that papaya in your cart. I cannot promise every store will carry perfect fruit. But I can promise this, after you learn these signs, you will walk past bad papayas with confidence instead of bringing them home and hoping for the best. There is too much old produce wisdom to fit into one video, so I keep the longer notes and home food saving lessons at Elias Yoder. But I will not mention that again here. Let us get back to the papaya in your hand. The first sign is color, and this is where many people get fooled. A ripe papaya should not be completely green, unless you are buying it for cooking. A green papaya can be useful in certain dishes, but it is not the sweet breakfast fruit most people are hoping to cut on Saturday morning. For eating fresh, you want a papaya that has started turning yellow, orange, or golden across a good part of the skin. Not one tiny yellow patch. Not a fruit that is green all over with one golden cheek. You want a papaya that looks like ripeness has moved through it, not just touched it in one place. A good papaya usually has at least half of its skin turning yellow or orange. Some green can remain, especially near the ends, but the fruit should look like it is on its way. The color should feel warm, not dull. A ripe papaya has a kind of sunset look to it, yellow deepening toward orange, sometimes with small green areas that are fading instead of fighting. A bad papaya often looks shiny green, hard green, or uneven in a suspicious way. It may have one bright yellow spot where it was pressed, warmed, or bruised, but the rest of the fruit is still telling you it is not ready. That is what casual shoppers miss. They see one yellow patch and think, this one is ripe. But one patch is not the same as ripeness. A papaya ripens as a whole fruit. If the color is trapped in one area while the rest is dark green and firm, the inside may still be pale, crunchy, and bland. The skin is not decoration. It is a report. When Esther and I sort fruit, she always turns the fruit slowly. She does not just look at the side facing up. Grocery stores display fruit from the prettiest angle. That does not mean the hidden side agrees. So here is what I want you to do in the store. Pick up the papaya and turn it all the way around. Look at the shoulders, look near the middle, look near the blossom end. If the yellow-orange color is spreading naturally over the fruit, that is a good sign. If the fruit is mostly green with one bright patch, be careful. If it is fully yellow-orange but has deep soft dents, then you may have gone too far. Good papaya, mostly yellow-orange, some fading green, warm color, natural transition. Bad papaya, hard green, patchy yellow, dull skin, or color that looks like a bruise instead of ripeness. Walk away from a papaya that looks green and stubborn. Walk away from a papaya that looks yellow only where it was damaged. But if you find one that looks like the green is slowly giving way to gold, pick it up. That one may be speaking the right language. The second sign is touch. This is where people either do too little or too much. Some shoppers are afraid to press fruit, so they only look. Others squeeze it so hard they damage it for the next person. Neither one is right. You do not need to crush a papaya to test it. You only need a gentle press with your thumb. Hold the papaya in your hand and press near the middle with light pressure. A ripe papaya should give slightly. It should feel like there is softness beneath the skin, but the fruit should still hold its shape. Think of a ripe avocado, but usually a little gentler, not mush, not stone, something in between. A good papaya says yes softly, an unripe papaya says nothing. It feels hard, tight, and silent under your thumb. If you press and it feels like pressing a green squash, it is not ready for fresh eating. An overripe papaya says too much. Your thumb sinks in. The skin wrinkles. A dent remains. Sometimes the soft area feels watery underneath, almost like the flesh has started breaking down. That is not ripeness. That is collapse. And collapse will not taste like sweetness. It will often taste fermented, musky, or unpleasant. I remember once Esther watched a man at a market pick up 6 papayas and squeeze each one like he was testing a baseball glove. By the time he walked away, he had bruised half the bin and bought none. Esther shook her head and said, "He is not finding ripeness, he is making spoilage." That stayed with me. Fruit is alive even after it is picked. It can be bruised. It can be damaged. The flesh beneath the skin can be broken by careless hands. So use respect. Good papaya, slight give, smooth skin, no deep dent, no mushy pocket. Bad papaya, rock hard, rubbery hard, deeply soft, leaking, wrinkled, or dented. Here is the grocery store tip. Do not press where everyone else has pressed. The middle of the fruit may already have handling damage. Turn it gently and test 2 or 3 areas with light pressure. If one small spot is soft but the rest is hard, that may be a bruise, not ripeness. If the whole fruit has an even gentle give, that is what you want. Walk away from rock-hard fruit if you need it today or tomorrow. Walk away from fruit that collapses under your thumb. The ripe one will not fight you, and it will not fall apart. It will answer gently.